Looks like we're live. Hello and welcome. How to become unstuck, how to create positive change in your horsewomanship as well as in your everyday life. Because what's happening in our horsewomanship is always a mirror of what's happening in our everyday life. And this video is for anybody who would like to create positive change and you don't know how. Where would you start? What would you do? How can it work? And is there any support available? Yes to all of it. And I will post the links to the previous 3 sessions in the description of this video once I am done here with the live video. Public service announcement before we get started. This week, I will create positive change in my own personal life. I haven't been riding in ages and I want to get back in the saddle, and I have decided to film this process. All the steps that I take, all the evaluations that I do, the pre-ride safety check sequence as a risk assessment and management tool. And you have the opportunity to watch and participate. This will be a 30-day long series where you can hop in and ask questions. We do a weekly live, and every day I will go out and film what I am doing with my horses. And of course you're going to say, oh, well, this is your horses and this couldn't possibly work for me, and your horses are so much better trained than mine. But nothing could be further from the truth. All of my horses are rescues. And certain patterns, when we haven't ridden in a while, when we haven't spent a lot of time with our horse recently, will come back. And I will show you what will come back and how I address it and how I make sure that me and my horses can feel safe, secure, and confident together, so that riding will be fun and will be joyful and will be safe. So I will post that link also in the description. Check it out. And I would love for you to join me. Now back to becoming unstuck and the 4th step in the series. So we talked about, in the first couple sessions, I shared with you how I bought my house in Pagosa Springs, how I created a place where I could do retreats and workshops and live and work and do my own thing, where I didn't have to depend on a landlord and on a boarding situation, and how I did so without any money in my bank account. So that was part 1 and 2, and how that can apply to you and your situation, and how you can learn from me taking the first steps to actually make my dream come to reality. Now, number 3 was on Friday, because Saturday I did the Cultivate Your Calm, Secure, and Achieve ride. And on Sunday, I actually had a 3-hour session in my group, totally free. That's the Genuine Connections Horse Womanship Support Program for anybody who signs up for my workshop or for my 30-day introductory program. That is usually something that I only do in my mentorship, or if it's for sale for $147. So that was totally for free. If you're currently a student of mine, if you haven't participated, the replay is now uploaded. And so here it is Monday, and I'm coming back to part 4. And part 3 on Friday was all about the 4 elements of why you do the things that you do, why they might not necessarily be helpful patterns any longer, and how to change ingrained patterns so that you can let go of the baggage that we all have accumulated in our life, and how you can move forward. So today we're going to talk about 3 responsibilities that you must take if you want to create positive change and even total transformation in your life. Some of you might just want to start the next page and create a new chapter, and some of you might be eagerly ready to close a book and completely start a new book in your life. And either is possible with the right steps, and sometimes we can do it by ourselves. Sometimes you need support. Maybe you have supportive family members, maybe you have a circle of friends, maybe you don't have anybody in your life that will help you to facilitate positive change. And then I would be happy to jump in that position and be your connection and confidence coach and mentor. So definitely reach out. Part of this series is free coaching, is available for anybody that is reaching out. I'm happy to do a session with you, assess what's happening in your life and what's not working, and how to get you from point A to where you currently are to point B where you want to be. And that path in between is what is setting the stage for either success or failure. And support is one of them. And step number 4 is also one of them, which is the 3 responsibilities. First of all, you have to be your authentic true self. If you have created a facade, if you have built up a wall around yourself to protect yourself, to protect your heart, to protect yourself from getting hurt again, if you are playing a role for the people in your life that they expect of you, if you're playing a role for society to keep up with society's demands of performance and getting more and more done and performing better and better, now is a good time to actually look for who are you? Who do you want to be? What are your values? What are your beliefs? When I was still a Pirelli instructor, I started to see that my personal values and beliefs did not mesh with the Pirelli corporation, as well as with some of the elements in the program. I realized that the program was set up based on a patriarchal way of dealing with horses, looking for the dominant stallion and his ways of interacting with the herd to get things done. And I realized that this kind of way of interacting with horses, training horses, was actually in the way of my goal. I saw my goal totally clear, what I wanted to do, but there was this glass ceiling. And I've talked to so many other Pirelli natural horsemanship students that have experienced the same. First, we had progress and we had success and we loved it. And then slowly but surely, we encountered roadblocks. Maybe you felt a little pebble in your shoe, or you encountered a boulder in your way, or there was a whole mountain in front of you, and suddenly you couldn't continue. You didn't know how, right? And I was in that same spot. And that's why I eventually gave up being a Pirelli instructor, and my program, Genuine Connections HorseWomanship, was born out of this desire to value my own values and my beliefs, and to make sure that what I do is not against my inner grain. So you might be spending today a little bit of time on what is actually working in my life, what is going along with my values and my beliefs, and where is a part in my life where my values and my beliefs are being violated. I have students sometimes that realize that where their horse is being boarded is very much contradictory to what they would like to achieve with their horse. And then we need to decide, can you find a new boarding situation? Can you even, like me, find your own property, even if you think that's a total crazy dream and you can't achieve it right now? I promise you there is a step that you can take today that will get you closer to that goal. There is another step that you can take tomorrow that will get you closer to that goal. Sitting back and saying, oh, this is not for me, I will never be able to achieve it. Yes, you will be right. So action is key. Taking responsibilities is key. Look at your values, look at your beliefs, be your authentic self. Stand up for who you are, and the real estate that you write fully should occupy, right? It should be rightfully yours. So that is responsibility number one. Value your own values and beliefs. Be your true, authentic self. Don't do anything that goes against your inner grain, that will make you unhappy, that will get you stuck, and that will also invite dis-ease into your life. Number two, we need to be responsible for our thoughts, the way, what kind of energy we have. We need to be aware of that our thoughts create words, and these words then formulate what actions we will take. And when we take actions over and over again, and we're creating repetition, then we create patterns. And everybody that is listening right now is for sure having patterns in your life that no longer suit you. We all have them. And it's a matter of finding them and addressing them and solving the problem. How can I create a better pattern? How can my thoughts, my words, and my actions support a pattern, repetition in my life that is actually good, that gets me to where I want to be. And responsibility number three is the most fun. We are going to celebrate our mistakes, and we're going to take the responsibility to understand that when something isn't working, that we can put that to rest, and instead we can create an action, a thought, a word, an action, a pattern that can actually create positive change. And that makes our mistake then a learning opportunity. I always tell this story. My friend Pete, Dancing Pete, used to be also Pirelli instructor. We used to teach together. And we did a clinic at the Pirelli Ranch together, and that is totally his idea. That didn't grow on my manure. It's a German saying. He came up one morning and he said, okay, who made a mistake today? Or who made a mistake yesterday? And everybody was like, yeah, okay, who wants to, yeah, it's not that easy to say, yeah, I made a mistake, right? And so it was pretty quiet in the room. And then he said, well, I made a mistake yesterday, and this is what it was. And guess what? Now I know that I won't do that anymore. And now my mistake becomes a learning opportunity. So every morning we literally celebrated our mistake. And the first day it felt kind of awkward. The second day people thought, you know what, this is actually kind of fun. The third day everybody was cheering, right? I made a mistake. Yay, bravo, bravo. Now we know what not to do. Okay, so let's assess, what did you do, what didn't work, and what can we do instead? And the wonderful opportunity was that everybody was learning from each other, just like I do in my Genuine Connections Relationship Restart Success Path mentoring program. We learn from each other, with each other, and it's this amazing community that is kind, caring, and supportive that really makes all the difference. So, what did you learn today? You have 3 responsibilities. Be your authentic self, look at your values and belief, look at where they're currently being violated, what needs to change, so that you can be your authentic self. And you might not be able to see that you can facilitate the change, but at least look at the areas in your life where that is currently not happening, where you are being incongruent, and just let it sit there for a while. We need to have the willingness to open ourselves up to awareness. We talked about that in part 1 and 2. And part 3, you create the understanding why that happened, right? And now we're starting to take action, right? Responsibility means taking action. So be your authentic self. Number 2, watch your thoughts, your words, your actions, the patterns that are currently in your life, right? In part number 3, we talked about understanding and the 4 key pillars why you do the things you do and why you don't do the things that you're not doing or not doing yet. You have to have that understanding in order to move forward. And the awareness, right? Your thoughts become words, your words become actions, your actions become habits. Last but not least, celebrate your mistake. Take responsibility for your mistakes, turn it into learning opportunities. And tomorrow at 11, we will be talking about the last and final step. So if you haven't seen step 1 through 3, I will post the links in the text section of this live. And then I hope I see you again tomorrow. As I always say in my mentorship group meetings, be blessed and with lots of love, because love makes everything better, including our horsewomanship. And right now, what our world needs is love and peace and understanding. And if we can do it for ourselves, if we can do it one horse at a time, you will create a ripple effect. And together we can create positive change, not for ourselves, just for ourselves, but also for our horse and others. Bye now. Have a blessed day, and pop your questions in the comment section and share with me what you've learned so far. Bye bye.